Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is just going to be a quick story time of how my surprise engagement actually went down. As some of you know, I was engaged in December 2024, few weeks to my wedding, and now, despite the fact that it happened a few weeks to the wedding, it was still a surprise regardless, and I'm going to tell you why. And just in case there's someone out there who might be thinking, the wedding was 8 months ago, why is she still talking about it? Since we go home. Because I just realized that a lot of things were happening at the same time, so many activities. I didn't get to actually bask in that moment, and then I didn't get to share my own side of the story, and there were a lot of clips flying around amongst my friends, family, and my followers. So this is me taking this one chance to redeem myself and take back whatever is left of my street cred as a hard girl. So, to the beginning, to the genesis of everything. Yes, my wedding was 3 weeks from then, and my fiance wasn't in town. So, it was a no-brainer that we were getting married. I didn't have a ring on my fingers yet, but we were going to get married regardless. So I wasn't too worried. Initially, we had a conversation, like a year ago randomly, and I remember telling him that I wasn't so particular about an engagement, and quite frankly I was not. I don't think there was ever a point where I would have stayed and said this is how I want my engagement to be. Also, I remember joking one time and saying that I actually wouldn't mind just waking up to see the ring on my hand, and that was just me being sincere, quite frankly, because I just felt like wedding plans were already underway. Like, your wedding is in 3 weeks, the level of preparation that you would have made as at 3 weeks to the wedding. So to me, it wasn't a problem, it wasn't a thing in my head. So here goes. He was supposed to be back in the country 12th of December, and that was what I was working with. 12th of December, I wanted to welcome him in a big way. I had already planned, we had already booked our hotel rooms prior. I had planned with a decorator to come and do the whole welcome back home baby, and then all of that. I had already paid a car hire service to get a luxury vehicle, a Prado or a Jigard, to go and pick my husband from the airport. I had already paid for all of these things, and I was already anticipating. Case in point, I hadn't seen my husband for over a year as at that point. Yes, because last time I saw him was August of the year before, 2023. So I was very excited to see him again. Tell me why 3 days to his trip back to Nigeria, he suddenly the way his work is, there are some times when he knows that he's not going to be reachable, and he tells me ahead of time, but most times he's always reachable, right? But that period, it was very hectic. They were trying to round off for the year, closing for the year, both in school, both at work. So he had a lot to do, which wasn't new to me because I kind of knew how he went down the year before, how busy that period got for him. So everything he was telling me was aligning, right? Told me 3 days to that he might need some more time at work, that there might be larger pockets of time where he might not be able to call me and all, and that but that he's going to call every chance he gets. So it started 3 days prior. So it's the way he timed it, I didn't really think much of it, right? Because his leave was supposed to start like on that third day, and that was the day he was supposed to board. And then because of his location, coming from Canada to Nigeria, it's like almost an entire 24-hour day, 1 day trip. So there was just so much going on my end as well, because I was the one on ground, running around, speaking to vendors, planning the wedding and all of that. So I didn't even have the time or the strength to overthink things. My friend also, she was on my train. She was pregnant at the time, and we had been talking about her civil wedding. She had done her traditional wedding earlier in the year. So we were talking about the civil wedding, and she was always saying how she was definitely going to have the civil wedding before the baby comes. So She said it was going to be October, but somehow October didn't work. So she said she was going to let us know when the new date was going to be. So somehow towards the end of November, she now told us that it's going to be in December, that they are trying to finalize the person that they are using to make things fast, that they don't want to have to start going to the what's it called, the registry themselves to handle the process and documentation. So I'm like, okay, no problem. And then she told me that I was going to be her witness, right? This is a discussion that we had already had prior. So when she was giving me these updates that she has picked her date, nothing was new, right? Nothing was new. So she told me the date, and it now turned out to be the day before my husband arrived. So I told her that this is a close one, but I mean, I already had my plans arranged and all. I was not going to get so tired that I feel you know, that's how you feel when you had a late night out the day before and then you want to look fresh to welcome your husband back. So I just made up my mind that I'm going to leave early, whatever it is. So she told me it was going to be an evening ceremony, like they wanted to do a celebration afterwards, so that was going to be an evening ceremony. So no problem, that was fine by me. So I was planning myself, I was calculating everything. Our civil wedding was for 11th, and then my husband was supposed to come back on the 12th. That morning I got up early. You know, I didn't even have what to wear. My other friend, I was telling them I don't have anything to wear. I only have 2 options. Are there any rules for what the witness has to wear for at the registry and whatever? My other friend was now like that. I shouldn't worry, that she has gotten something for me, that's because we are literally like the same size. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So she said she already had something for me that I could wear. One less thing to think about. So obviously I was going to be the makeup artist. I was going to do makeup for the bride. I was going to do makeup for the other friend, and then for myself, which is more like normal rodeo, something that we do whenever we're going out. It's not uncommon for me to do everybody's makeup and my makeup for us to go somewhere. So there was nothing about the entire situation that was shady, except for the fact that I couldn't talk to my husband, which I kind of found a way to justify, like I mentioned earlier. So on the day of my friend's civil wedding, 11th of December, in the morning I got my hair laid. I got to her house. She told me to get to her house by 1. I got there on time. I started her makeup, did her makeup, finished her makeup. I now wanted to start my second friend's makeup, only for the first friend to say, no, start doing your own makeup. I know you always do everybody's makeup, and then your own, you now just do powder and lip gloss and follow us and be going. And she didn't lie. Quite frankly, she didn't lie. It's something that I would prefer to do everybody's makeup before I do mine. Even in all my friendship circles, that's just how I roll. Especially when I have been pre-informed that I'm going to be doing people's makeup. That's fine by me, right? So when she said that, do your makeup, no, this time around you have to do your makeup first and do it well. It's not that thing that you used to do that you just fix lashes and rub eyeliner and come out. I said, okay, no problem. So I now stayed. I did my makeup. Doing my makeup for myself typically doesn't take, you know, so much time. But in the process of doing my makeup, I started noticing things. Now, this is the part that nobody knows about. I started noticing things because I'm quite observant, and maybe because I understand people, I understand their patterns, and I know that I just know when something is off. So my second friend, she was very relaxed. First of all, the bride too was very relaxed. And I'm like, which civil registry are you doing that they've not called you by now? She now said it's private, that they did the private one, so it's going to be according to their own time. And I'm like, even if it is according to your own time, it's not going to be close of business, because by this time I'm talking 4 p.m. I know how these registry people can be. She now told me, don't worry, that her husband's friend, she called the person's name, had already helped to arrange the whole thing. So they already agreed that it was going to be an evening ceremony, and also because of the venue where they wanted to use, they could only get it for the evening. The explanation made sense, right? Good. So I'm like, where's your dress? She told me her dress was at the venue, and I said, why? She now said, because the person making the dress, who turned out to be the sister of my second friend, the same friend that provided my dress, her sister was the one making, she's a fashion designer, was the one making the bride's dress, and that she's going to meet them at the location, and she's still doing finishing touches. I'm like, what kind of risky venture is this? I said, no problem. I continued doing my makeup. I noticed that there was just the general sense of they were relaxed. And I know how girls are. I've done makeup for too many women, both bridal and normal situations, to know how women are when there's an event that you're supposed to be preparing for. That's one thing. The first one was the fact that she insisted that I do my makeup first. The second one was the fact that there was just a general sense of taking your time. There was no hurry, which is what I would have expected. I was hurrying because I felt like, bride, you have to keep to time so nothing goes wrong. This is a private arrangement. But I was not getting the same sense of let's do fast and leave from them. That's two. Then thirdly, my other friend, the one that brought my dress, so while I was doing my makeup, she was going to fit into her dress because she had her own dress there, and then she wore the dress and she came out. It was a lovely black dress, right? Her sister made it as well. So then she came out, she was like, nah, this is not what she expected the dress to look like, and she's not sure she's comfortable with it. So I was like, okay, so what do you want to do about it? She now said that she does not know that she's going to remove this part, she's going to remove that part. There was a corset attached to it, and I feel like the corset gave the dress a kind of snatch that made it really, really sexy. And I know that my friend, she likes to look good. So when she said that she didn't like the way the corset made it, was it the corset? I'm not really sure, but she took out that part, which to me I felt was like the main thing that will make this dress look really good. And I know this, my friend, I know how particular she can be about the way she looks, especially if she's going out somewhere that, you know, she's supposed to be like the second witness, one witness. At that time I hadn't gotten married. I didn't even know how the thing was supposed to be. I didn't even know that it was just one witness that was needed. All the bubble they were giving me, I was just eating it hook, line, sinker. So yeah, that was the second thing. I'm like, for this girl not to be so particular about this now. That was the first time it hit me that what if these people are planning a surprise proposal for me? What if my husband is around? I immediately carried my phone. I called him. It wasn't connecting. I'm like, what the hell? I continued doing my makeup. So by the time I was done with my makeup, which was like some 40 minutes later, I called him again on video call, and he picked, but the camera was off. I'm like, what's happening? What's your camera off? He now told me that he can't talk. His supervisor is here, that he's trying to get his final clearance, and then head to the airport, something along those lines or so. Like, his voice was even hushed. So I'm like, oh, okay, no problem, sorry. And then I ended the call. I removed my mind from it. I changed what I was doing. The thing that now took away the suspicion from my mind was when my friend, the bride, her husband now started calling, like, where are you guys? Where are you? That was when there was now suddenly a little, for the first time that evening, I started seeing some sense of urgency. Not like that, where are you people? Where are you people? That was when everybody now started running helter skelter, like, have you done this? The next thing, both of them came again, rearranging my hair. I'm like, and then the dress that my friend gave me to wear was a very lovely dress. Like, me thinking about it, both of us wear the same size, right? When she had given it to me, I had to touch, was it the hip side? It was a bit too tight around the hip, so I had to touch it and release it a bit. So I know that it's literally the same size we wear. So it didn't make any sense to me that she would give me this lovely dress and then wear this one that she seemed to have an issue with. Do you understand? You know, when you just know the people that are around you, you know the things, certain things that they are particular about. The way they were all, you know, flocking around me, you do your hair like this, do your hair like this, do you have straightener? I said, no, there's no need for straightener, let's just go like that. Like, you, where's your dress, where's your shoe? Like, this is just me being in my element, which is how I normally am when I'm with my friends. And then we head out, we're in the car, I'm just making videos, you know, in my mind we are going to somebody's civil wedding. And then we get there, and we came up. By the time we came up, it was just 3 of us. I was like, have you called? Where is he? They said that they're already up there, that the officials are there, they're already waiting for us. So me, I was already even, you know, rushing, agitated, palpitating for her that we are late to like carry your things from the car. I didn't want to wear because my shoes were strappy. I was taking a bit of time to do it. I just came out immediately. Like, I was just trying to rush everybody up. By the time we went up, me now, I wanted to, I'm like, where's the toilet? Because she needed to change. Where's Moji? That's the person that's supposed to come with the dress. Let's go to the toilet so this girl can change. Like, where are they? Then I now saw the people at Twin Towers. One of the ladies dressed, and one of the waitresses, right? Actually a waitress or just a service attendant, I don't know, but she came up and she was like, who is the bride? And then I pointed at my friend that is the bride. Okay, you guys come with me. And then we went with her. And I'm like, then I stopped at the door. I'm like, Tommy, are you not going to come and change? And I wanted to carry her that we should go and change. And I noticed the service girl talking to my other friend, and I'm like, what are they talking about? That is this the place? So I now went to peep. I wanted to peep because there was a small, crack in between the door, in between where the two doors meet. And as I went to peep, that's how they caught me. You see, that my peeping that they caught me. So hear me now. I was deceived by everybody. I was deceived by my husband, by my friends, by every single person. So all those videos people saw about me crying, I was just overwhelmed. It's not like that's not normal. Those sounds, they were not me. Someone was laughing in the background. I have watched these videos over and over again. It wasn't me making those sounds. Someone was laughing in the background. Okay. So yeah, that was how the engagement happened. It was a very big surprise to me. I didn't think my husband would do that, because considering the stress of coming in that same day, the money I used to hire a vehicle, the money I paid for room decor, thankfully the vendor was very understanding, so she was able to keep it as store credit for me to use it the next year. So I used it in during Valentine's this year to do something for my office. Lastly, I was very curious about how he got my ring size, because I'm like, how? So because I have pretty slim fingers, and I don't know, I just knew that it was going to be a hassle. So later, when I was trying to demystify the entire process, I asked my friend, like, were you the one that sent my ring size to him? And she said no, that she wasn't. So I asked him, how did you get my ring size? Because it was like, the ring was like my perfect size. And then he said that he used my the pictures. He used my pictures. He showed, because it was custom made. The ring was custom made in Canada there. So then he used my pictures, and he kind of had an idea of what the size of my fingers are. And I'm like, okay, so what was the inspiration for this ring shape? He said that he just looked up the different shapes of rings and what they meant, and that he liked what this one meant the most. It meant eternal love and commitment, something round cut, a round cut shape, which I found really cute. So in that moment, despite the fact that I'd always wanted to have like a princess cut or an emerald cut, in that moment, this ring was like the most beautiful thing to have happened to me. That moment, this ring was the most beautiful ring I could have received. And if you think about it, I just realized that it didn't mean much to me anymore in the grand scheme of things. It was the entire situation, the entire thing was just too special. I wouldn't have taken anything away from it. So yeah, that was how it went. I feel like every girl deserves to feel that way. Big ups to men who go the extra mile to create that special memory for their women. So yeah, that's the story, the real story of how it happened. So if you've not subscribed, subscribe and stay tuned for the rest on my wedding series. Next video is going to be about how I planned my wedding by myself. So stay tuned and thank you for watching. Bye.